Good morning. Pretty nice day today. Wind is blowing, so we'll be able to get going a bit sooner. That takes the dew off the grass. Dad and Buddy are over there. They're going to get the International. Scott's, they're going to sweep it out because we finished drying the barley last night. Dryer is full of dry wheat. So once we get that International swept out, we'll get the dryer empty. We got Super Bees over the swing. We'll get the dryer going again. I'm going to go grab a grease gun and go grease the walkers on one combine. Give them a little check over. I want to see if our weld job held up from yesterday. Got to move a couple trucks here too. I'll go help them do that first, actually. Won't go through the door. So I just come over here to check out my mom's combine. This is a piece we put on yesterday. These bolts already fell out. I don't even think we put lock nuts on there, so that was probably our fault. We did put a new belt on to drive the straw chopper, and that took quite a bit of the shake away. But I'm wondering now, we must not have something lined up properly, because everything we fixed yesterday held up except for this guard. So the guard maybe didn't get the proper treatment or the right bolts even. I know, like, they're I'm not sure exactly what they had in there. They had metric bolts, and I think they were Stover nuts. Of course, we lost the metric bolts, so we just put in regular bolts, and I don't think they were lock nuts, so that could have been our fault. Anyways, everything else seems to have held up. Our welds, it didn't crack again, and it wasn't shaking. You know, I don't think it was shaking bad enough to crack it. It just, this kind of was a flimsy piece of garbage. Anyways, it had broke once before, and we repaired it. We actually had left it off, but there's I think it holds this hydraulic motor or hydraulic pump straight. This is what drives the chaff spreader there. So it serves a little bit of a purpose for sure. We're going to, I'm going to zip it around back to the shop because this one, this other bracket did break, so I'll have to take that back off. So our suspicions about the excessive rattling were right. Once we put it all together and we changed a few belts and we got it all tightened back up, we fired it up and it did rattle a little bit. So we thought, like, whew, seems strange, but you know, I wasn't there when the machine was built, so maybe, you know, maybe a little rattle is okay. Seemed like a little too much, but we went out and we ran it anyways. We were going through the combines and we looked, and yeah, a couple of bolts had fallen out, and that one guard was broke again. So closer inspection, actually the inside of the bearing actually broke. So this is the bearing here, and it actually broke out the side, and it was still, the piece was still there, so we couldn't actually, it was hard to see right away. But fortunately, we had a couple bearings here, so there was a little bit of damage to the shaft. So my dad is just building that up a little bit, and then we'll grind it down smooth and put the bearings on. And hopefully the rattle's gone. And as I've always said before, we're not machinists, we're not welders, we're not mechanics, we're not anything. We're just farmers. And we, you know, with that comes, we like to try a lot of this ourselves. We don't really feel we're losing much by trying it, you know, like even building up these shafts and stuff like that. You know, we have the proper stuff for it. You know, there's special rods and there's, you know, we do buy those things. And then we just give it a go ourselves, you know. We don't mind wrenching. You know, it's a little frustrating when you should be combining and you got to be fixing. But in the off season, throughout the summer, we went through these pretty good. That's something we didn't actually notice until we took the straw chopper off. Because once we took the straw chopper off, we had to loosen a bunch of that stuff and put a different belt on. And then that's really when you could see it shaking like crazy. And that's when it did all the damage to itself, was when she was dropping straw. So maybe I'll blame it on the baler man. But anyways, I mean, that bearing, clearly you see it was broke. So crazy that it broke. Like the bearing is still smooth even when you spin it. It just, the inside of it broke out. So I figure while it's off, I better highlight the old 1955 cockshed here. It's a cool tractor. I think my dad bought it, I don't know, 1970 something. It wasn't new, but it was pretty new. It had a wrecked engine, so he put the GM diesel in. I think that happened to quite a few. The engines they came with, I think the harmonic balancer was weak, so they would fail. I'm sure that was the problem. He told me what it was. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But he put this in there, and it's a cool tractor. It's probably like the loudest tractor ever, but it's pretty cool. I remember we've done everything with it. He seeded with it, all sorts of things when he pulled the box drills. Walk out there, buddy.
Walk out there?
Walk out there. Walk out and wave to mommy. Walk all the way out there and wave to mommy. Good evening. So I'm just in the shop here now. We shut down combining for the night. It's about 11 o'clock. It started to get tough. Wind went down. It's supposed to actually rain around midnight to 1, 2 in the morning. So I think the air's getting heavy. I'm not sure if it will rain or not. That's always just a Hail Mary for the weather people around here. They just kind of throw it out there and make a good guess. So actually it's a poor guess. They just throw it out. Just throw whatever they want to say out there. So I got the dryer going. What's in there is dry. I just turned the heat off now. I'm gonna let it cool for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go to bed. So to everybody that watches, thank you very much, and we'll see you all tomorrow.